First day. I think this is sort of like the first day of the first round of a boxing match. I think the first one that throws the punch gets the bloody nose. At this point is the way the fight's going to go, and I think this is the way the trial's going to go.
Words from Larry Woodcock as he walked into the courtroom this morning for opening statements in Chad Daybell's trial. Chad's accused of murdering 3 people, including Woodcock's grandson. Good evening. Welcome joining us for the News at 6. Joe Paris in for Morgan Romero this week. Today, though, jurors heard opening statements and testimony from the state's first witness. And Chad faces 3 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his first wife, Tammy, and then 2 of his current wife's kids, JJ and Tylee Ryan. Abby Davis following the story for us. Abby, walk us through what happened here today.
Well, Joe, court started at 9 a.m. and ended late this afternoon. Some of the information was similar to what was said during the first day of testimony in Lori Vallow Daybell's trial last spring.
During this trial, you will hear a story more troubling, and the story is real.
Wednesday, the prosecution and defense outlined their arguments for Doomsday author Chad Daybell's murder trial. Chad's accused of murder and conspiracy in the deaths of his late wife, Tammy Daybell, and 2 of his current wife's kids, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. The prosecution described the case in 3 words: money, power, sex. The same words they used for Lori Vallow Daybell's trial last year.
October 26, 2018. That was a day when Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow met at a religious conference in St. George, Utah.
Prosecuting attorney Rob Wood says Chad became obsessed with Lori's admiration for him. Wood touched on the couple's extreme religious beliefs and how they called JJ, Tylee, and Tammy zombies because they were dark spirits.
This narrative gave them the pretext to remove people from this world for their own good.
Wood brought up the insurance money and Social Security Chad and Lori got from their deaths.
Now, without the earthly obstacles of spouses and young children, and with Tammy's insurance policy and the children's Social Security funds, they could live the life that Chad and Lori wanted.
Defense attorney John Pryor blamed Lori and her dead brother, Alex Cox. He says Chad's past is unremarkable, with just a speeding ticket on his record before he met Lori. He talked about the books Chad and Tammy published through their company, their decades-long marriage, and dedication to their faith.
And then Lori Vallow comes in the picture, Miss Texas. You'll hear testimony about this beautiful, vivacious woman, very sexual person, and very manipulative. And she knows how to get what she wants.
Pryor says there was no DNA evidence of Chad on the kids' bodies who law enforcement found in his backyard. He also claims there's no indication that Tammy's death was a homicide.
You're going to hear testimony from the Daybell children. They're going to talk about their mother's use of various medicinal treatments that she would use, oils that she would put on her leg, medicine and different herbs that she would take, and that her mother was suffering from, a number of maladies, and that she would refuse to go see a doctor.
After opening statements, the state called its first witness, Rexburg Police Department Detective Ray Hermosillo. He was a witness in Lori's trial, too. Hermosillo described what they found and didn't find at Lori's apartment during the initial welfare check of JJ.
The thing that caught our attention was there were no clothes on the hanger in any of the closets. 0 clothes. Just a bunch of empty hangers hanging there like somebody took the clothes off and left.
He testified for several hours, detailing how the search for JJ expanded to include Tylee and how they traced the kids' bodies back to Chad's property. This trial will likely last 8 to 10 weeks longer than Lori's trial, since the death penalty is on the table this time. Much like Lori's trial, we do expect a lot of evidence shown to jurors will be very graphic. Joe.
Okay, Abby Davis, appreciate the report from opening statements, and we will be covering the trial daily. You can watch our coverage on all our digital platforms, including KTVB+, where you'll find our first episode of Inside the Courtroom. And for everything related to the trial, text Daybell to 208-321-5614. We'll send you a link directly to your phone.